Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And following on from my rant yesterday, we have a totally normal day of Celtic news. I'm joking. Davy Buggery. We have a lot more to talk about in relation to yesterday's video and a few other positive stories just to try and balance out the mood. I'm trying my best here. Please, just bear with me. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. We are still going through the laptop setup right now, hence the video and audio quality. So apologies for that. However, I would like to say very quickly, thank you to everyone who supported the video yesterday and left some very kind comments about my rant. Every time I upload one of those, it seems to go down pretty well with the vast majority of people, which is always nice because there is that thought in the back of your head that people are just going to switch off and start turning on you. But you guys have been fantastic, so thank you for that. If you want to keep up the support for the channel, you know what to do. Go down below, use all those buttons. We are going to start off today's video talking about Celtic's response to the Celtic fans' collective statement yesterday, which has a lot of people confused because it was quite contradictory. So yesterday we done a video discussing the Celtic fans' collective statement in regards to the meeting that took place at Celtic Park on Monday between representatives of the collective and the Celtic board. That meeting went as expected. There was no real surprises, and in fact some people went as far to say that it was a bit of a disaster. And if you watched my rant yesterday, yeah, I'd probably agree with that. It was a bit of a disaster. The Celtic board sat there with stone faces and denied any responsibility or accountability for what went wrong at the club throughout the summer, resulting in our failure to qualify for the Champions League and, of course, resulting in the total regression of our squad, leaving us in a position right now where we really shouldn't be. Now, of course, we're still waiting for the minutes of the meeting to be published by either side. However, the rundown that was given to us yesterday by the Celtic Fans Collective was met with a statement last night from Celtic, from their perspective of what happened at the meeting. And now there seems to be a real collective hunger by the wider Celtic support for the minutes of the meeting to be established, because this statement released by Celtic yesterday has went down terribly. I'm not even going to try and come up with a creative metaphor for it, or try to put it into a fun term for you. It's not went down well. It seems contradictory. It seems all over the place. And once again, it's another statement from the club which outlines no vision really to move forward. There is a couple of things we'll talk about, but also just accepts once again no responsibility for what went wrong. So we're going to go through this statement. And listen, everything I had to say in relation to the Muppets that are running the club was said yesterday. I'll try and keep that to a bare minimum, but here is the statement in full. So the statement went on to say, in response to issues raised in recent weeks about the club's strategy and operations, we invited representatives of fan groups to meet with Michael Nicholson, Chris Mackay and club executives at Celtic Park on Monday evening. It was and remains our intention to provide a full minute of the meeting for the interest of the wider fan base. However, with content already being distributed online from the meeting, we are providing an earlier update. The club sought to comment openly on issues raised to the extent that it's possible to do so without prejudicing club operations and confidentiality. We acknowledge that the club is not where we want it to be at for this moment, that we have not achieved all of our objectives in the summer transfer window and the Champions League, and that those are mistakes which we will learn from. We recognise the concerns raised, shared the frustrations of our supporters, and valued the opportunity to hear from supporters last night. Our immediate objective is to seek to make progress without negatively impacting on the team and the field of play, and that we continue to focus on delivering success this season. We intend to issue minutes soon, but outputs from the meeting included a commitment to seek to ensure supporter involvement in meetings with Police Scotland regarding the Fairhurst report, the review and development of supporter engagement processes, and progressing a new safe standing working group. The club offered to continue to meet with supporters' organisations moving forward and is committed to ongoing dialogue with our wider support. We have always engaged in regular discussions with supporter groups and will continue to do so with the aim of ensuring that we can work collaboratively and positively in the best interests of our team on the pitch and our club as a whole. I mean, I think the plain and obvious thing is this doesn't sound like the meeting that was described by the Celtic Fans Collective. And I'm just going to make one thing crystal clear right now, and I'm saying this without the bias of being one of the signatories of the Celtic Fans Collective open letter over a month ago. Um, but I know who I choose to believe. And the day that I start standing with millionaire lawyers and accountants and businessmen over my brothers that sit in the stands with me to support the football team is the day I shut all of this down. It's the day where you can all stop watching and unsubscribing. Um, yeah, I know whose side I choose to believe and whose side I'm on. This powder puff statement really answers nothing. It's another statement in which we see no real accountability taken. I mean, we have this line near the top here that says, "We acknowledge that the club is not where we want it to be at the moment and that we have not achieved all of our objectives in the summer transfer window and Champions League." Number one, completely contradictory to what we heard about the meeting. Apparently, the club are fine with where we are. They've accepted that, yada, yada. It feels like this is something that's been put out now to try and save some face. But this line about recognising the mistakes we've made and we'll learn from them, how many chances do you get to learn from these? And this is one of the points I made yesterday on my video. Like in any other walk of life, in any form of business or sort of high up area of life, when mistakes are made continuously and repetitively, you get punished. If you make a mistake in your job once, you get a slap in the wrist. You make a mistake twice, you get a talking to. You make that mistake a third time, you're probably out the door. How come these Muppets have had time after time after time again to learn from the mistakes? They didn't learn when we got knocked out of the Champions League this year. They're at it. They didn't learn the last time we got knocked out of the Champions League, or the time before that, or the time before that, or the time before that. See that big list that the Green Brigade had on banners, or boys, I can't remember exactly who, and it listed all those failings, all those games. How did they not learn after those? Peter Lawwell has had 20 years, 20 plus years to learn from his mistakes, and he hasn't. So how many chances should these guys get to learn from their mistakes? And why should we listen to them say this every few years? Oh, we'll learn from our mistakes. He's clearly don't. So why should we choose to believe that? Yeah, powder puff. Our immediate objective is to make progress without negatively impacting the team in the field. This is on you. You are the reason that anybody's been negatively impacted. Celtic fans didn't ask to be in this situation. We didn't take the back seat in the summer and go, we don't need to improve. We didn't take the back seat in negotiations. We didn't take the back seat in trying to qualify for the Champions League. Used it. So don't come out and talk about negatively impacting the team when it's all on you. It's your fault, not ours. Not ours. And I think we've made it clear that we want to try and do as much as we possibly can without negatively impacting the team. So don't try and play the card now to try and split the divide in the fans. Don't try and paint the image that we are negatively impacting the team. The people who have done more damage to this football team more than anyone else is you. Michael Nicholson, Peter Lawwell, Chris Mackay, Dermot Desmond, and everybody else that wears a suit and tie in the Celtic boardroom have done more damage single-handedly to Celtic Football Club than any supporter could, to any of those players in the park, to the manager who sits in the dugout every week. You do more damage than anyone. Don't try and divide us. Don't try and split things. This is just absolute pish and drivel. Now, I want to see the full minutes before I go any further about discussing this meeting that happened on Monday. I want to do a proper deep dive into everything that was said, but we know what happened. They shrugged their shoulders. They refused to take blame. They moved this on until the next time, and that's what they'll continue to do while they still have a place at this football club. Don't kid us on with your statements. Don't kid us on with your promises to continue meeting with us and to improve things. You've got your way of doing it, and you don't plan on changing it anytime soon, and we see right through you. It's as simple as that. So many people spoke last night about what we do moving forward, and I think there seems to be this general consensus that it's time to hurt the club where it hurts most, and that's in their pockets. I think it's of paramount importance that you make sure you're not wandering into the superstore and giving them money. And I think it's of paramount importance to try and give your money to the local businesses at Celtic Park. Get your food, get your drinks from the local snack vans for the shops nearby. Don't be putting it into the stadium. Don't be giving Adidas the money that they're looking for. Make them ask questions of Celtic. Listen, nobody's going to tell you to stop going to games. If you want to remain on the home cup ticket scheme, do it, because football is more than just a sport for some people. It's an escape. It's a way of life. It's your Saturday routine. Nobody's going to ask you to give up your Europa League games or whatever. If you can do that and you want to do that, then do it. You know, I'm going to be there with a season ticket, most games this season. It's not like I'm just going to cancel it. But in other ways, hurt them in their pockets. Let them know you're unhappy, and that's probably the first of many steps that we can take as a collective. That seems to be what most people are suggesting anyway in the comments section of my videos. But yeah, I want to see what the minutes say. I want to see what the suggestions are moving forward. And of course, there's another meeting on the horizon between Celtic Fans Collective members. I myself will be there, and hopefully we have an outcome that can produce something and can really push something forward. But it's time for them to go. The time is up for them at the board. They continuously just keep lying to us, and once again, in that statement, lied again. I don't like being lied to by anybody, and I'm sure you don't either. You wouldn't like to be lied to by people you work for, people you live with, your loved ones, your immediate partner, or whatever. You don't want lied to by anybody. Your son, your daughter, your mother, your father. Lies are lies. Don't accept them because they're disguised by the people that run the football club you love. They're liars like any other liar, and they should be punished for that, and they should be treated accordingly. Stop letting them do it to you. Stand up to them, and don't take any more of their shite. So, shall we dance through some non-meeting related stories with my limited editing abilities on a laptop? And recording softwares. International duty season is upon us, and it's been confirmed that 11 Celtic players will take part, on international duties. And those names are on screen now. So we've got a big list this time round, and hopefully everybody comes back fit and firing. Anthony Ralston and Kieran Tierney have both been called up for Scotland against Greece and Belarus over the next week. Liam Scales will be on Irish international duty. Benji Nygren as well will be with Sweden. So that's three big hitters straight away. We've then got Vinny Sinsalo, Kasper Schmeichel in the goalkeeper department heading off with Denmark and Finland respectively. Sebastian Tenekte is off on Tunisia international duty as well. Daisen Maeda will join up with Japan, and Marcelo Sarachi has been recalled to the Uruguay national setup for the first time in a while by Marcelo Bielsa. To finish off, Cameron Carter-Vickers is away, and Kobe Donovan has been called up for under-21s duty with Scotland. So there is the list of names that have been called up for internationals. Hopefully everybody comes back fit and firing, and we're ready to go for what feels like a kind of lease of life for Celtic, maybe. I don't know. I kind of want to call it a second start for our season. Let's make things better. And talking about making things better, if there's one guy that can certainly help with that, it's Alistair Johnston, who confirmed on his Instagram story earlier today that he will be back soon. Now, we knew this, but it's nice to hear it coming from Alistair Johnston himself. Now, Brendan Rodgers said at a press conference a couple of weeks ago that he's on track to return quicker than expected from his injury he picked up against Kairat Almaty. Remember, he was stretchered off the park against them and was maybe going to be out until as late as November, and late November at that. The talk from Rodgers was he might be back after this international break, and Alistair Johnston has said he will be back soon. So thank God. I think we've missed him. I think it's actually not been spoke about enough how much we miss his influence on the right-hand side of the park, his ability to both take the ball forward and attack the game, but also his defensive ability as well. Ralston's been really, really poor. Just going to call it how it is. And Donovan, for as good as he's been, you could see in Europe he was a little bit out of his depth. He was a little bit flustered. I think he handled it probably as well as he could, but we definitely missed Johnston against Braga. So, Alistair Johnston back soon, huge for us. Hopefully he can help once again kickstart this almost second beginning of our season. And final story for today, another positive one, which is nice. The Celtic Foundation have announced that Celtic legends will face Feyenoord legends in a Rotterdam charity match for the Wim Jansen Cup. That's right, a cup, a tournament, a friendly tournament named after Celtic and Feyenoord legend Wim Jansen. That will take place at the Coop very, very soon, the 12th of October. It is going to be taking place, which is this Sunday, actually. So much sooner than it's a very quick announcement to be made for then a game to be turned around on. But yeah, the squads have been announced and everything. It's looking like a good deal of fun. I don't imagine many Celtic fans will book up last minute to take the trip, but it would be a fantastic opportunity if you've got the money sitting there. And of course, no money will be going to the club if you choose to go. If you buy your tickets through Feyenoord, don't worry, Nicholson and Co won't be getting any of it. Celtic squad will continue. Will have a lot of the same names that took part in the Manchester United charity game, the likes of Arthur Boris, Charlie Mulgrew, Lee Naylor, Johnny Hayes, etc., etc. But some great names in there, some returning names, and some unique names like Pierre Van Hooijdonk, who will play for both sides on the day. He's not been in a Celtic shirt in a while. Derek Riordan, if you want to watch him play, you've got Derek Riordan. Scott Brown, he'll be taking part as well. So a very interesting lineup. You can read the names all on screen. Feyenoord will have some great former players as well. Nuri Sahin, great player in his day. Graziana Pella, former Southampton player. Solomon Kalou of Chelsea. Johan Elmander, you might remember from the Barclays era. Johan Elmander, oh, I've already said him. Elgero Elia, who was a FIFA legend, and of course Dirk Kuyt, who is one of, even though he played for Liverpool, a player who I really enjoyed watching growing up. So some great fun. Tickets for the game are priced at £20 if you can make it. So yeah, bit of fun, good cause as well for the Celtic Foundation, and some positivity to talk about for once. Right, that does it for today. Thank you for bearing with me through the poor audio and the very lazy editing. I should have my PC by Friday. I think it's going to be Friday it arrives, unless it gets delayed again. So hopefully next week content will return to looking and sounding as normal. Until then, thank you for your patience. But take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.